Hey, I need to tell you something. I'm not Batman. It's Friday. Happy Friday. Lots of movies opening in theaters today. Project Hail Mary's on its second weekend. I really want to see it a third time. And Alan Ing is waiting in the wings. Where is he?
The sun is dying, and I can't find Alan. Alan.
Hey.
Hey.
Yeah, I did something yesterday that I haven't done in a very long time.
What's that?
I went to the theater and saw 2 movies that were 90 minutes long.
Oh, yeah. I love a 90-minute movie. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it so much. It's great. I think I know which movies you're talking about.
Yeah.
It feels so good to walk out and you're like, that movie was just right.
I know.
Just the right
ended
way.
at the right time.
It was just all the entertainment. And one of the movies I walked in just as Nicole Kidman was finishing up. I'm like, this is perfect. Because AMC now has 4 commercials for AMC. There's the one with the black couple dancing. There's one where they talk about popcorn. There's one where it's like, can we
There's
just
the one about A-list?
A-list. Just one. AMC, you get one. On that note, I saw some complaints on Spotify that we have too many ads on the audio version of the show. So I will reduce them. I have the power to do that. You have the power also to skip the ads, which don't skip them all, but I do recommend. I mean, you can skip ads on Spotify. When I listen to podcasts with ads, there's a skip ahead 10 seconds or 30 seconds or something.
Yeah. Or you could patronize the advertisers and give us relevance in the commercial space.
Yeah, there you go. But I'm nearly in a good mood. It's opening day. It was opening day on Wednesday. Dodgers had their opening day last night. They won. I of course am wearing I actually don't have anything Dodgers. So I got Film Threat. Let's go, Film Threat. Come on.
Yeah. I used to have a lot of Dodgers stuff back when they were a good team. They weren't a corporate team.
Yeah. Well,
they're owned by an actual family.
I don't know. I like watching baseball. It's a relaxing and exciting sport. Hey, let's see what everyone's saying here, starting with Andrew Cram, gifted 5 Film Threat memberships. Thank you for that. Let's get some comments here. We have a lot of news, so we got to go. Thank you.
Yes. All right. Hey guys, looking forward to Credo 23 this weekend. I'm on the festival production team this year, so I'll see you Saturday. Alan, yes, I will be there Saturday.
I'll be there tonight. So say hi, SWG_. Say hi. I'll be there tonight. Cool.
Yeah. Sorry, get my background there. John Smith, going to see They Will Kill You tonight. Sounds similar to Ready or Not with a satanic subplot. Somehow they are being released within a week of each other.
Yeah, that is unusual. We'll discuss that when we talk about the movies.
Yeah. About one of the 90-minute movies. Andrew Cram, thinking about watching Hail Mary again and rereading Dune. Neither of those are 90 minutes long.
Yeah, they're long, but worth it, Andrew. Yeah, I'll probably read Dune again before Dune and Dune Messiah before it comes out in December. But yeah, Hail Mary, I gotta see. I want to see it at Universal, but the IMAX is not 70 millimeter.
Yeah, you gotta come to Irvine. You gotta come.
Yeah, I know. There we go.
Sons and Shadows cast. Chris Coffee Pool 1 cup, 30 emails, and his desk is an utter disaster. But it's Friday. Let's have some fun. Who cares about emails and messes? Let's party.
Thanks, Sons and First of all, you are right. This is my second cup, so I was 1 cup in. I have a backlog of emails, and my desk is kind of a disaster. Although I liked the Godzilla and Credo slate there behind me. I placed those strategically.
Yeah. Let Justine know I'll be there all day tomorrow. Cool. Caramel Slice of Life. Is Alan represented in a film today?
Yeah, you are one.
Is it no, it's not Project.
It's
not
the AI doc.
The AI doc, yeah.
It was amazing.
There's all kind of Asians in that one.
Yeah, a lot.
If you want a diversity of Asians, the AI doc is the one.
AI doc has diversity.
Yeah, and like Lord Share, Lord Thoth.
Lord Share? What? Wake up, Alan. You need coffee.
I know. No, I need to slow down. Lord Thoth, like, share, subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications. Ding, ding, ding. Sign up as a member. Join us on X, Discord, Rumble, and Instagram. Buy our merch at shop.filmthreat.com.
And you can get the jersey that I'm wearing in various colors on the shop. If you go under apparel, I guess you have to dig for it now. You have to dig for it. But here they are, the different jerseys. Got, navy blue, black, bright blue, red, green. So pick your jersey colors. They're in the shop under apparel. So there you go, Alan. All right. And thank you, Lord Thoth. Really do appreciate you. Awesome. Hey, some new trailers have dropped. Are you ready for the end of Oak Street?
I haven't even gotten to the start of Oak Street.
Okay. This marks the return of someone who hasn't made a film in a long time.
Armie Hammer.
You'll see that because they tout the name, and we will discuss. Let's take a look at this. It's a short teaser for this, 90 seconds. But let's check it out from WB. From the director of It Follows, which I really love. But J.J. Abrams is involved, so it's going to be mystery box all the way.
Yeah. Well, It Follows was sort of that.
Good cast, though. Anne Hathaway.
Ewan McGregor.
Obi-Wan Kenobi is in it.
He looked like Jason
Dinosaurs
for a long time.
Yeah.
So my guess is a giant bubble takes a end of a block and then sends it back in the past where dinosaurs are.
That's what it seems to be. And there'll be a lot of mystery box in there. Feels very Spielberg from the score.
Actually, it does.
So
with a little bit of M. Night Shyamalan with it.
Yeah. I got another trailer for you, Alan. Faces of Death. Now, Faces of Death is a series of
VHS
films.
tapes.
Well, films that came out on VHS. I don't think they may have been released to theaters, and when I worked at a video store, these were very popular films. Now, they are just a montage and collection of videos where people die in accidents or horrible ways. Some of the footage in these videos were faked. It was faked. But this now comes a narrative film based on that, and it looks really good. I've seen it. This and this is the Red Band trailer. There may be a few shocking things in it. Just a warning up front. Barbie Ferreira's in it. She was in movie that won at award this for best female director. Bob Trevino likes it.
Yes.
So she was in that movie. And she is the star in this. Let's take a look at this trailer. But I'm preparing you right now. Movie's rated R. The trailer is rated R. Not sure about the audio. Let's go. Here, prepare yourself.
Here at Kino Moderation, we protect people. The young, the innocent. When you come across content that violates policy, flag it and move on. You may be tempted to look into it outside of work, but don't even think about it if you can help it.
Now it is time to witness the many faces of death.
What's up? I've been seeing these videos, all based off this old horror movie called Faces of Death. Do you think this could be real executions?
Leave it up. Support the trend.
That
is the first rule of content creation. Give the people what they want.
Many faces of death.
You need to listen to me about these videos. I need to do something.
It is the attention economy. And baby, business is booming.
Many faces of death.
What are you watching?
Want to see?
Oh man, that comes out in a few weeks. I know one person who will not go see that movie.
Yeah, I do too. And he's sitting in my chair right now.
Yeah, you are not. I'm looking at it and I'm questioning if I should go see this film.
My pastor was right. Faces of Death is satanic. we used to have these like rock music is satanic and all this other stuff. And this was one of the subjects. And it was like, yeah, he was right all along.
This is even questionable for me. I mean, look, I'm a fan of horror. I like psychological horror. If horror is overly gory, like it's gore for gore's sake.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not going to work for me. So I don't know. I'm iffy on it. I know you're not going to see it, but I will see it and I'll let you know. I'll probably be seeing it by myself.
But it just feels like these are the only kind of movies being made today. I mean, I'm seeing just more and more of these. I mean, it's one thing is to be a horror film, but it's just this gory blood fest that is just coming, being played out over and over and over again.
We're going to get to that. We've got a movie today we're talking about that fits that category.
Yes.
Hey, a movie I know you cannot wait to see, Alan. Godzilla minus zero. We will get our first look at CinemaCon. Now, there may be, this is actually from, you know what this is from? Godzilla.com. CinemaCon 2026 to feature first look at Godzilla minus zero with director Takashi Yamazaki.
So these are scenes. We're not seeing the whole movie.
We're not seeing the movie, but we're going to get a first look. I assume they will drop a trailer and or show a scene. So, and that is going to be, the movie comes out theatrically in North America, November 6th, but this basically announcing that we will see it there. We will be at CinemaCon. We're announcing it now. There will be no verses that week. We're going to do daily live streams from CinemaCon. And it'll probably be at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do it or first thing in the morning. So they're going to be at odd times. We will do a daily stream from CinemaCon the week of CinemaCon, which I believe starts April 12th.
April 13th. We're arriving April 12th.
Yeah. So, but we'll do some videos on Sunday for members only, our shenanigans in Vegas. We'll do a drive stream.
Yes, we have a satellite dish and internet. Yes, Starlink. And so we'll be able to broadcast from the car.
Yeah, so we'll do car streams. So that week is going to be, not our normal schedule. Turn on notifications, and we will be the first to report to you what we saw at CinemaCon for Godzilla minus zero. Or we're going to get a deeper look at Dune Part 3, maybe some Supergirl. We shall see. But this is kind of to let you know we're going to be there. And also probably the thing I'm most excited about is Godzilla minus zero and Dune Part 3.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard anything about Avengers Doomsday. I haven't heard more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Spider-Man will be the next movie. I'm pretty sure at least Sony will promote that one. I'm not sure about Marvel Studios.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Hey, you know what else? we're gonna get we got some news about Superman 2 Man of Tomorrow, and it's going to feature 4 things that have never been seen in DC movies.
Mhm.
Alan, I know you have notes for this story. What are
Yes.
those 4 things?
Okay. Here we go. Superman, James Gunn's next DC chapter, Man of Tomorrow, is shaping up to be a massive first of its kind superhero event. Set to begin filming in April and release in July of 2027, the film reunites David Cornsweet's Superman and Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor, but with a twist. They won't clash, they'll team up. I think we knew that. For the first time in a live-action DC movie, Superman and Lex Luthor are forced into a reluctant alliance, facing a threat too big for either to handle alone. Gunn describes it equally a Superman and Lex story, leaning into their tension and uneasy trust. After decades of near misses, Brainiac, one of Superman's most iconic villains, makes his live-action film debut, played by Lars Ettinger. Expect a cosmic-level threat involving city-shrinking tech and a galaxy brain menace, pushing the story into near Justice League territory. Lex Luthor's war suit appears in the big screen for the first time. Jon Stewart's Green Lantern, played by Aaron Pierre, makes his live-action film debut, expanding the DCU into a larger interconnected universe. And this isn't just another Superman movie. It's a collision of heroes, villains, and firsts, blending uneasy alliances, long-awaited characters, and cosmic stakes.
I just wonder, will the movie be about Superman, or is it another ensemble with a bunch of side characters overshadowing Big Blue?
Yeah.
I'm not super excited about this. I think, having seen Superman several times and thinking about it, it just, I feel like he's not the focus. It's an ensemble, and that it weakens and dilutes Superman as a character. But he's confirming now that Green Lantern is going to be Jon Stewart Green Lantern, not Hal Jordan, which tells me maybe Hal Jordan doesn't survive Lanterns. I don't know if we'll survive Lanterns.
Yeah,
Alan.
or he's rooting out racism across America, and so doesn't have time for a cosmic event.
The villain is Middle America yet again.
Yeah, I think the Lanterns are just going to carve out the middle of America and leave only the coast.
My enthusiasm for this film is just not there. I'm just not super excited. What about yourself?
Yeah, okay. So as someone who actually liked the first James Gunn Superman, this feels like it's not a Superman movie. It's definitely a team-up movie, so Superman and Lex. I think before James Gunn Superman came out, I just wanted a Superman movie. And while I did like the story and everything in the Superman, I still want a Superman movie. I just want a Superman movie.
I just feel like one where he's the focus. You can have a cameo here and there, but really that Superman movie felt like an ensemble film.
Yeah.
And I think Lois and Clark have like 2 or 3 scenes together in the whole film. It didn't hold up to repeat viewings.
Yeah.
Whereas, people are going to maybe be upset by this, but I'm telling you, I can watch Man of Steel and I get sucked in. I can't
watch that movie.
Yes, it's flawed in a few decisions I don't agree with in Man of Steel, but I can watch that, and it's all Clark / Superman's POV. And I don't know, I still get chills watching that. I don't feel anything, or at least what Gunn was hoping audiences would feel didn't work for me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, the flaws of X3 and Spider-Man 3 was it was too many villains, too many superheroes, too many mutants.
Yes.
And the first Superman, James Gunn Superman, was bordering on that. There's just too many side superhero characters to muddle what should be the greatest superhero character ever, which is Superman. And this just feels like we have. I don't know why James Gunn has to pack these things in with other characters. Because I mean, I don't think I don't think they're doing that with Supergirl.
Right.
Which I find interesting.
I think Supergirl will have a lot of cameos. I predict.
Yeah.
And we've heard from test screenings, the reaction's been mixed. And I believe, for Supergirl. And I do believe like sort of the age of girl bossery movies is kind of, audiences just don't like that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Even good movies like Furiosa, I thought was a decent film. Really enjoyed it, but audiences stayed away. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone's talking about Black Snape. Everybody's talking about Black Snape. Well, let me change the subject, change the topic, change the conversation. Let's look at the X-Files reboot casting. Let's change the topic. Here it is. Ryan Coogler's X-Files is going to star Himesh Patel, and he will star opposite Danielle Deadwyler in this reboot that'll be on Hulu. Are they playing Mulder and Scully? I don't know. Alan, do you have notes for this story?
I don't have notes for it.
Okay, well,
I do have notes for it.
Okay, yeah. Look, are they Scully? Are they Mulder and Scully?
You're shipping them now.
I need more
Sculder.
coffee. Are they Mulder and Scully, or are they in the same universe, different characters? I'd have less of a problem if it was in the same universe.
Okay.
Here
we go. Hulu's reboot of the X-Files officially moving forward with Hamish Patel joining Danielle Deadwyler as co-leads. The project has received a pilot green light, and the duo will play brand new agents, FBI agents, not Mulder and Scully 2.0.
See?
Yep, there you go. So the story follows two highly decorated but very different agents who are assigned to a long-abandoned division investigating unexplained phenomena. Naturally, sparks and strange things are expected. Ryan Coogler is writing and directing the pilot. Jennifer Yale serves as the showrunner. Original creator Chris Carter is also executive producing. Instead of dusting off old cases, this reboot is building a fresh conspiracy board from scratch with new characters, a powerhouse creative team, and modern lens on the paranormal.
What do you think, Alan?
I find it interesting that it's only a pilot. 20th Century Studios with the Muppets and with this are only producing a pilot, which means you'll see this and then the decision will be made and it'll be a long time. I guess the thing is, when you saw Scully and Mulder, you had you could visually see two very distinct characters. I'm just not seeing that here. I feel like sometimes I've mentioned last time we talked about race swapping. We're doing to characters is giving us people of color versus people of character, people who have quirks, who have fatal flaws. That would be the worst thing to happen here. But knowing that Ryan Coogler is writing and directing it, I feel like there'll be a little depth to it than what normal DEI crap we usually get.
Yeah, and I've seen Himesh Patel in a lot of things. He's done a lot of indie movies. I don't think he's that great. I'm sorry. I think he's kind of a weak presence. Danielle Deadwyler, she was nominated for Best Actress a couple years ago.
Yeah, for Till, wasn't it?
Correct.
Yeah.
And we've talked to her. She's been on the show for a watch party. She was on. I don't know if you were aware.
It probably was, but
for a
that was a long time ago. We were in a lockdown at that time.
That was during that was during those times. and I think she's very good.
Yeah,
I'm just
Himesh
not
Patel-
super convinced about Himesh Patel.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
I
he
feel
tends
like-
to play. I'm sorry, he tends to play beta characters. Like kind of the
Yes.
main male. He was in Yesterday, the Beatles movie, and I really like that movie. But yeah, he was kind of, he's not the hero type. So we'll see.
Yeah, I look at this and it's like, all I can say is this the only idea they have? Redo an old franchise with, like you said, people of character. You've got to, it's what it does is immediately
Mm-hmm.
will turn people off because people are tired of this. I feel like they're tired of take an old beloved franchise, and the one noticeable change is you just cast people of color.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes it different. And it's not a reason to do it.
Yeah.
I think look, we'll talk about the Harry Potter casting issues later, but I think audiences just immediately go, I won't watch it. I can watch old X-Files. You can get the DVDs, you can find it on VOD or wherever. I'm sure it's on the old X-Files or on Hulu. Do we need new, I love Justine Bateman's, she sends out a post on X. She does it all the time for everything. Make something new. And she just quote tweets stuff like this. Making characters black who are formerly white in a show isn't, if that's all you've got, tell me the reason you're doing it. How is this modern reboot going to be different or expand upon? I mean, it sounds like that. I mean, Mulder and Scully could end up being in the show. David Duchovny. I mean, they could end up playing their characters in this show. This is the new generation.
Yeah. Or we visit their grave sites. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Maybe that's what happens. Or maybe Mulder was abducted this time for real.
Yeah. You know what it is? It's like, I look at this and I go, well, here we go again. And it's because from on high, someone said the words, no white people. And this is what you get. And look, I hope it's great. I hope Ryan Coogler comes through. He's a guy who could pull this off. But here we go again.
He's perfectly capable of doing something original. And after winning at the Oscars for screenplay and getting the most Oscar nominations ever for a movie that was original, I feel like this is a step back for him.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is the deal. He'll direct the pilot, but he's not going to be, he'll be a producer on the show. He might direct the pilot and maybe the season finale.
Right.
I can't see him doing this on the regular.
I feel like I've just been saying, when before Superman came out, it was like, well, only James Gunn can save the superhero movies. And I had to eat my words on that one. And so now I'm going to say only Ryan Coogler can make a good person of color X-Files. And we'll see if I'm going to eat my words on that one. Only maybe Papa Esiedu is the greatest Snape ever, but I'll probably eat my words on that one too.
That remains to be seen, but that's actually turned into a meme now. I mean, it's so I just think people are tired of it. On that note, Harry Potter TV show cast guide. Who's who in Hogwarts?
Ooh, I want to know.
Let's take a look. Yeah. Here we go. Well, from Variety. Wait, I'll scroll up. Let's save that for later.
Why would you
save
start
that for
there?
later? There's some really good castings. Well, let's take a look. Here we have the new Harry, new Harry Potter. Let's go through who the new actors are. I think Dominic McLaughlin plays Harry Potter. I really like him. He looks like Harry. It's funny because are they going to let these kids age or will they recast?
Why would you
I don't know.
recast? I mean, something.
No,
horrible.
recast as they age.
Right.
Because that was the plan actually in the original Harry Potter when they cast Daniel.
Well, that doesn't make
Radcliffe.
sense either because the books are year after year after year. So the show happens, one this year, next year, the year after. You can follow them.
Yes, well, I'll just say Daniel Radcliffe didn't have the growth spurt that Ron Weasley had. But there you go. I like most of these. I think look great. I mean, I can't believe that Ron Weasley, played by Alistair Stout in the new Harry Potter, is a redhead. He's a redhead. Rupert Grint.
Well, he's a redhead in the book, so therefore you must follow the book and cast.
Yes, follow the book. That's what you do. And then we have Hermione Granger, played by Arabella Stanton. She looks like a cute kid.
Yeah. Like you're not casting doubles of the originals.
Right, but they obviously bring a spark that will be different. But it's really about that trio. Let's scroll down. Ooh, Albus Dumbledore. That's John Lithgow now.
Yeah.
People are saying he looks like Timu Dumbledore.
Well, he's American.
Right. Yeah. One would hope he gets, he can do a British accent. Fine, I guess.
I just found it pretty, look, I like casting Americans. I found it very interesting choice that they would go to an American for this role.
Yeah. Let's go down to the other actors. And here we have Severus Snape, Papa Asiatu. Let me just say, Snape has always been kind of evil. He has, ulterior motives that are revealed later. I really think they cast an evil Snape. If they were looking to cast someone who Harry would, I really like all my teachers except this Severus Snape.
And that's very clear in the books, is that Harry does not like and fears Severus Snape.
Well, when Harry saw him walking down the street, he moved to the other side of the street and he patted his wallet just to be safe. That's going to be a scene in the new Harry Potter. Yeah. I think this is not, look, sure, you get different race swaps here and there. Who cares? This one will have implications because of the story that actually will reflect badly on Harry.
Yeah,
because
but the problem is, and I mentioned this on the Pro Show last week, I just hate the fact that already we're inserting, in our minds at least, we're inserting modern culture into things. That these events that occur in the book, we have to apply it now to a Black lens. And it's like, can we not? Can we just tell this? And I'm talking about us watching it. I'm not talking about the show itself. Racism, lynching, Jim Crow, and all that stuff. That's not a part of the book. Can't we just accept it for being the book and not have to insert our culture into it?
Well, there is bigotry in the book, but it's directed towards Muggles.
Yeah, it's not racial. It's not cultural division or bigotry. It's not racial bigotry.
There is bigotry in Star Wars, but it's against droids because of the Clone Wars. There is George Lucas has talked about it. And if Harry is going to be suspicious of Snape, it has other implications. This is a bad idea. I think and by the way, that Harry Potter trailer on YouTube has been ratioed over 120,000 downvotes to 200,000 upvotes.
Right, but this, my issue is this is the reason it's getting downvoted. You don't know the guy, you don't know the performance, you don't know why he was selected. It's just because they race swapped it, and I'm just saying that we're walking on eggshells here. Because Look, I'll say it when the show comes out. If he is mediocre Snape, they made a huge mistake and it was a race swap. But like I said, the warning is out there. He has to be better than Alan Rickman in order for this to work.
Yeah. And then we scroll down. McGonagall by Janet McTeer. She looks fine. There you go. We've got Nick Frost.
That's who that is.
It's great. Is Hagrid.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other really good castings. Draco Malfoy. They got someone blonde.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's a jerk. Oh my God, look at the new Dudley. That haircut. Dudley, by the way, the original actor, Harry Melling, can be seen in Pillion.
Yes.
Movie that Alan recommends.
Yeah, you can see a lot of him in Pillion.
Yeah. And here we have a look at Petunia Dursley and Vernon Dursley, played by Belle Powley and Daniel Rigby.
Yeah. They
look accurate. I think. And then we've got Garrick Ollivander, played by Anton Lesser, originally John Hurt. So there you go.
I was like, what character was that? It's okay, Ollivander.
Yeah. There we go. Here we go. Argus Filch, played by Paul Whitehouse, original actor David Bradley. I mean, they all look really good. Quinnis Quirrell as played by Luke Fallon, original actor Ian Hart. We were going through, and they all look pretty good. Molly Weasley, Catherine Parkinson. We have Parvati Patil, played by Alicia Leone.
They could have race swapped.
They almost look exactly the same actress.
I know,
honestly. So, Seamus Finnegan, played by Leo Early. Cornelius Fudge.
Okay, wow, we're going really deep into these.
Yeah, these are deep. But look at, what do you notice? All the actors look pretty much like, a slightly different take, but Neville Longbottom, played by Rory Wilmot.
I feel like he's been to the orthodontist.
Yeah. Madame Rolanda Hooch.
Okay.
It looks like good casting. Louise Brealey. They're really deep. Now look at this. Here's the Weasley siblings, played by Gracie Cochran, Tristan Harlan, Gabriel Harland, and Rory Spooner.
Yeah. Well, when you talk about differences in the books, in the second season, Percy plays a big role in the story, which you didn't see in the movie.
Yeah. So,
and there's 5. Okay.
There you go. We have Phileas Fitwick, played by Warwick Davis.
He looks just like Warwick Davis.
My God. These are really good.
Yeah.
Pomona Sprout, Serene Saba. These are good castings when you go through. Poppy Pumphrey, played by Brid Brennan. These are all really good castings. There's only one that stands out. And it's the one that you could change her to someone different, I guess. Whatever. You could race swap some of these. Would it make a difference?
See, if you're going to do race swaps, why couldn't this character be Asian? And I mean slanty-eyed Asian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dean Thomas, played by Elijah Ocean. Vincent Crabbe, played by Finn Steffens. They all look good.
Yeah, I mean, that's all we got is they look good, because these kids don't have much of a
Gregory. They're kids. The kids look really well cast. Then we have Cuthbert Binns, played by Richard Durden. All right, look. One of these things is not like the other, and that's the casting.
I'm just gonna call it. He's gonna be better than Alan Rickman.
Final thoughts here.
That's why they cast him.
Final thoughts here before we go to
Yeah,
comments.
no,
Alan.
that continues to be my thought, because that's continues to be the conversation about that. You can show the list, say, "Oh, looks good, looks good, looks good." You have that one thing. Like I said, the litmus test will be, his actual performance, and we'll see whether it was diversity or it was an actually good casting.
Let's go to your comments. We're going to start with Soups.
Lord Comfort 2. Hey, Chris Gore, Faces of Death is a gorgeous movie.
It is. I'll go see it. So
I remember talking about it in high school, that movie. The original tapes, at least. Jean Hu gifted 5 Film Type memberships. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean Hu. Appreciate you.
Noido Dev, Disney stock is around 2014 levels. Yeah, it's up $90.
Yeah, buy the dip. Buy the dip is what they say.
I know. Man, I had a chance to buy Disney at $30 at one point. Foolish American for 2 Cougar Henri Higher Bragg.
That's right. Thank you.
John Hu for 742. I want them to use old shows for inspiration to make new things instead of another sequel, prequel, requel, reboot, reimagining. Yeah, you could have done a X-Files inspired television show. Put Ryan Coogler's name behind it.
Yeah.
Christopher Moonlight Productions. That's the most J.J. Abrams trailer to ever J.J. Abrams.
Yep.
Yeah, they ruined it by putting his name up front. King Alfred USA. I know someone else who will not watch Faces of Death, and he's also sitting in my chair. What a coincidence.
Yeah, that trailer is going to turn a lot of people off.
Yeah, but it's not meant for everybody. The introspective horror is cheap and easy for independent studios to make and are profitable. I take it as a good sign that indie studios are getting more viable to compete eventually in all genres.
Yeah. Keep going, Alan. I'm gonna quick break for me, and I'll be right back. Then we'll get to reviews. I'll be right back.
Lori,
I'll be right back.
Yeah, Lori, you're gonna have to help me swap through these so I can read them. So on to the next. Rick Tater. Sounds like Superman is not a Superman movie. It's more of a Superman and Friends or Super Friends. Why not just call it as is? It's not Justice League, it's Super Friends. I want Gleek. ADLS24. Modern Lens on the paranormal is a concerning use of words. Yeah. Yep. C sign. Alan Snape's described it in the book more so than the Ron and his family. To push the let's see his performance is just gaslighting. This was absolutely done for one purpose, to run defense. I don't know that it's gaslighting because it is somewhat gaslighting because it's undeniable that it doesn't appear like it's a total race swap. But I want to believe that someone's smarter than that and said, yeah, this guy is better than Alan Rickman. And I set the bar high on purpose because that's the only way they're going to win this argument and prove us wrong, is to say that this guy is portraying the perfect Snape, which is, if you're placing odds, the odds aren't very good. All right, next one. Here we go. Harry Brownhole for 2. Rings of Potter and the MFN Black Snape. The nerd far away. Okay, genuine question. Why is horror easier to make than other movies? I think
you
a
don't
lot
have
of those notes is the lack of notes studios will give on horror.
Well, no. Here's the thing. One, they're cheap.
Yeah.
They have effects that are mostly practical. 2, you don't need to cast stars. A lot of people's first jobs in movies, like Johnny Depp, among others, were in horror films.
Matthew McConaughey.
George Clooney was in a cheesy, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. You don't need to pay for cast. Cast doesn't matter. And cast is one of the most expensive parts of making films is your cast, right?
Yeah.
If you want to cast known actors, you're going to pay. You can
Oh.
cast, lesser known actors. Also, locations. You'll have fewer locations
In the
for a
woods,
horror.
at the
Yeah.
beach,
There,
in an
you don't need
Airbnb.
epic locations, or it's not about epic scale. There's smaller stories, so they are cheaper. And while horror films generally don't make in the hundreds of millions, they make a modest amount that you just need to make it for less than that amount.
Right. Also, horror films tend to have a life beyond the theatrical.
Yes.
Versus
Also,
other-
they tend to be immune from modernity in a lot of ways. Modernity, but modernity, like they don't really get into politics. You can have some sort of subtext and meaning in horror, symbolism, but they aren't overly preachy. And horror does have their tropes, but ultimately the genre is cheap. They make money. You don't need to spend as much money for a horror film. So that's it. It's budget more than anything. Thank you, Nerd Pro.
All right, Robbo for 20. Hey, Chris, are you confident that Edric will appear in Dune Part 3? It's speculated he's the figure inside the coffin-like container in the teaser, but the way Villeneuve makes some tweaks to the source material, I'm not sure.
Well, first of all, I'm not confident. I think it could end up being Hate or, Duncan Idaho, who we saw in the trailer. But I think we just want to see a guild navigator. Even he is taking some big swings and he's changed things. Obviously, the way Dune Part 2 ended is not the way the book ends. Okay. And it almost feels like a cliffhanger the way it's kind of with Chani going out there. But I think he's made changes that kind of changes that would shield the movie from criticism if he did it accurately, that someone accused Denis Villeneuve of ripping off Revenge of the Sith, if you catch my meaning. And I think he's going to get into some of the events of Children of Dune. I don't really want to, if I get it too deep into it, I'll spoil it. I just want to see a guild navigator.
Yeah, I know. If I see a guild navigator, I'm going to scream in joy.
I can't wait because I want to see him get into the weirdness that David Lynch really got into in his version of Dune. Hey, it's time to do film reviews, and we've got a lot. We've got Daredevil Born Again Season 2. We've got, let's do some film reviews, and then we'll get to our TV reviews. And we have an interview with Refugee director Anton Sigurdsson coming up later in the show. But Alan, let's talk about Mike and Nick and Alice.
Yes.
This movie stars Vince Vaughn, which, by the way, I love that Vince Vaughn has been in the news lately. He did a podcast, the Theo Vaughn podcast, where he talked about late night hosts. Obviously, he's on a tour to promote this movie, which is on Hulu. Is that right?
Yes, it's on Hulu.
Yeah. So I've always loved Vince Vaughn. From when I first saw him in Swingers, that's when I first noticed him as an actor, and he's a lot of fun. Tell me about Mike and Nick and Alice.
Okay, so Nick and Mike, played by Vince Vaughn and James Marsden, they're kind of like gangsters in the underworld. They work for their boss Sosa, played by Keith David, and it opens at a party where Sosa's son is finally released from prison, and they're throwing this giant party for him because Sonny Boy is finally home. The thing is, the person who put his son in prison is at the party, and while nobody knows who it is, revenge will be exacted. In fact, it is Nick who's going to kill the guy who put his son in prison, and guess what? That happens to be Mike. Right, so they go off, and as Nick prepares to take out Mike. Mike is dating, or is actually having an affair with Alice, who is Nick's ex-wife. And so there's a little bit of that dynamic. Now you notice that there are two Nicks in here.
Yes, I see.
Yeah. So what is that second Nick played by Vince Vaughn?
Tell me.
Nick, that is future Nick, who came back into the past to stop present Nick from killing Mike, because Mike is not the real rat who got Sosa's son put in jail. And so now there's this is a time travel movie, and obviously there are things in here that come into play. For example, you can't kill present day Nick, or that's going to affect future Nick. Also, you've got to somehow confuse present day Nick that future Nick is actually himself. And then there's the human element of this story of the affair with his ex-wife. Look, this movie should have been a whole lot better than it was. I went in cold, so this whole time travel thing just kind of threw me a bit. But it was just not played out well. I feel like the writer of this, Ben David Grabinski, the name sounds familiar, but it just felt TV movie-ish to me. It didn't feel like it was, it was taking the subject nor the comedy very seriously. The comedy is just people commenting, which is the worst. This is where Hollywood comedies have come today. Something happens and someone makes a quippy comment. It sounds familiar. Sounds weird coming from me saying that, but that's what the humor in this movie is. There's an attempt to make this a very human drama, or a human element to it, which just doesn't kind of play off. I'm so disappointed, because in my mind, this movie should have been much better based on the ideas of the plots, and they just couldn't pull it off. So not a recommend for me.
Yeah. So it's like a mafia murder story.
Yeah. With Back to the Future elements to it.
Back to the Future elements. I saw the trailer for it. Mm-hmm. It didn't grab me. This is a streaming movie, really, right? That's what you're really saying. It's a fine streaming movie, but you don't recommend it.
No. The thing about streaming nowadays is there's a million things to watch. So go watch one of the good ones. Well, watch one of the ones that actually give a damn and try.
Okay, so you don't recommend it.
I don't. Sorry.
Let's go to comments.
Let's see. From Sons and Shadowcast, 4-5. Leo's first movie was Critters 4. Brad Pitt did Cutting Class. Jennifer Aniston, First Leprechaun, etc.
Yeah, thanks, Sons and Shadows Cast.
Okay.
Sub to his channel.
I mean, a lot of thought the writer of Critters 4 would have produced a movie like this.
But it's look, these are actors' first jobs, early in their career. Mm-hmm. They're not stars yet. And it is kind of funny to see them, like Kevin Costner was in a trauma movie, Yeah. A lot of actors of note began their careers in, smaller horror films. Mm-hmm. That's what they don't cast stars. You don't need Brad Pitt to star in a horror film. The horror itself, the concept, or whatever it is, the killer, the mess, whatever, that's the star. The horror is the star in a horror movie, not the actors.
I think the issue is, acting in front of a camera is very different than acting on stage. And so a lot of these people have to take small roles to prove that they can conduct themselves well on set and that they can work with the camera.
Yeah. So there you are. But yeah, horror is a stable genre.
Toast host for 10. I haven't been to Pasadena in years. There are 2 theaters, Pacific Promenade and a small theater on the other side of Colorado. I would often see the late character actor Philip Baker Hall.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I live in Pasadena. There are the iPic Theater, which is about to close. It's closing at the end of April. That's here. There is the Regal at the Paseo Mall. and another second run theater down the street, and a Lemley. So there's a lot of theaters in Pasadena.
By the way, I
And
hear the
so
Cinerama
few.
Dome might be reopening or might have new owners.
I hope.
Martini the Trombini for 5. Have you guys seen the trailer to The Furious? It looks over the top. It looks a little over the top, but we have been starved for good action movies.
Haven't seen it yet, and we will take a look at it. And if it's coming to theaters, we will review it. Thank you, Martini.
Jason Nelson for 2. Were you able to watch Drinkers Chat with Andy Weir?
I
it's on
listened
my
to the
watch
whole,
list.
I listened to the whole thing. It was great. It was a great interview. I think the best one Andy Weir did, because Drinker took questions from the chat, and also there's controversy over it. Apparently a guy
Over
named
Drinker or
Yes, Matt
Okay.
Jarbo, who's a film critic, he's boycotting Project Hail Mary because Andy Weir did an interview with the Critical Drinker.
wow.
I don't think the boycott's going to help. I think it's only going to reflect poorly on him being such a negative Nancy. And so he's been very vocal about it, which I think makes him look kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
And
that
my
was
guess is
great,
he didn't watch Pillion either.
yeah.
which means-
The Drinker interview was great. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate you.
Magnum Norse for 5. What are your favorite movies in the first quarter of 26 so far? There's only 3 movies.
There's only 3. Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, Nirvana the band, the show, the movie, and Project Hail Mary.
Yeah.
So far, those are 3 favorites.
3 you must see.
I don't think he has him out. Oh, wait. A guy named Nerdrotic says he is a delivery driver. No shade, it's honest work. But he has no podcast or critic.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay. That's right. He's been a journalist in the past. Isn't that right, Gary? I don't know. I just found that I saw that he looked like a moron. Like this guy, Matt Jarbo, looks like a moron.
I mean, these people. TDS is running rampant still.
Yeah, wait, I got him mixed up with the guy that always goes after you. Who is that guy?
Oh, Chipman.
Yeah, the guy that
That one.
always attacks Alan.
I know. I feel like they assign
guy.
people to you. Whoever is out there running the world, it's like, okay, here's you Chipman, you go after Alan.
Yeah, but that was a non-controversy. It's not gonna. Project Hail Mary looks like its second weekend is going to be very good. The screenings were packed where I was, and at Universal IMAX, and it's just good word of mouth, which is the best advertising. Hey, Gary, thanks. I'll be listening to FNT later today.
Yeah.
Hey, do you like Zazie Beetz?
Yes, I do.
Well, she is in a new movie called They Will Kill You. And it's a real simple story of a young woman and her sister. Starts in the beginning. They're trying to escape their abusive father. And that leads to her character going to prison. She loses track of her sister. And upon getting out of prison, she goes on a search. And she applies for a job as a maid at this exclusive upscale hotel. She's introduced to people at the hotel. Patricia Arquette plays a woman called Lilith, who kind of runs the staff at this upscale hotel for the rich. And
The Virgil.
yes, the Virgil is the name of the hotel. And Zazie Beetz plays Asia Reeves. He has an ulterior motive to applying for work at this hotel. She's looking for her sister. She is assigned a room and just trying to grab some Z's. She is suddenly attacked by a bunch of creepy people in robes, played by Tom Felton. There's a guy named Kevin, Heather Graham. is one of these characters. They're dressed like devil worshippers because guess what? They are devil worshippers. And the action in this movie, it's like John Wick via a video game inspired by a movie called Tokyo Gore Police, which I saw years ago, where the gore in this is comic, hyper violent, and over the top. It's definitely They Will Kill Bill because it feels like very Kill Bill inspired. A woman on a mission to do anything to save her sister. Where did she learn to fight? In prison. She soon learns that not only are these creepy elites devil worshippers, they're immortal. So upon chopping off their arms, legs,
And heads.
feet, and head, they grow back, not instantly, but they grow back and keep fighting. They can't be killed. This movie is super stylized. It's way too close to Ready or Not Part 2. Very close in story. Devil worshippers, young woman fighting for her life, sister, very similar plots, but this is the better movie. And I recommend it. It's really fun. It feels like a graphic novel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I recommend it, loved it, had a great time. Here's why the movie's going to fail. I'm telling you this movie, a film that I think is very good, that I recommend that you see. It's 90 minutes and a rockin' good time from beginning to end with swords chopping off limbs, fire-wielding axes burning people alive. I mean, insane. It's over the top in the sense that it's ridiculous. But she is chopping up people who can't be killed. In any case, people are tired of this. The girl bossery action star, and they explain her skills that she had to fight off people in prison. Okay, I'll give her that. But I think people are tired. I think this girl bossery and it being so close to Ready or Not 2 and being released literally 1 week away from that movie, two very similar plots. This is the better movie. I just don't think, I have to ask myself, who is this made for? Do women want to see women being badasses and killing people in gruesome ways? Or do they want to see Barbie? Do women want to see an action girl boss character slaughter people, fight for their lives, get injured themselves in gruesome ways? Or do they want to see The Devil Wears Prada 2? Or do they want to see Zendaya in the drama? I don't think this movie is going to appeal to women necessarily. I don't think it's made necessarily for them. And I think there is a exhaustion with these types of female-led, girl boss, action star. Having said that, it's a great time. It feels like a comic book. Really very inspired by graphic novels. Andy Muschietti is actually one of the producers on this film. It feels very, there are very comic book elements of it. She goes to take a shower in the beginning of the film at this hotel. The steam from the shower sort of reveals, written on the mirror in the shower, "They Will Kill You," the title of the movie. Very clever, graphic inspired elements of it. Love this film, recommend it. And you'll see the parallels with Kill Bill and Tokyo Gore Police if you've seen that. Like someone's head gets chopped off, and it's like they put a garden hose of blood spurting out. It's so over the top, it's not realistic. So recommend it, but this is going to bomb, and it's because I think audiences are tired. Alan, I'm not sure if you saw it.
No, I saw it. I think you're right. This is a girl boss movie, but it's probably one of the best girl boss movies.
Yeah, it's really good.
To add on to what you said, it's a very stylized movie. It does look like a graphic novel in the sense of, they're crawling through tunnels. And so you're seeing it. It's basically side scrolling.
Yeah.
You have the video games where the action just you go down the hallway and watch the action happen as it goes. The action is great. It's very John Wick in terms of the gore, the action, the fighting. Zazie Beetz, awesome. I mean, look, her first fight, she's in panties. And then the only thing about Heather Graham is she's wearing a raincoat the entire thing. But I certainly had fun with it. The story just, again, like a graphic novel, just goes out of control. It gets weirder and weirder, but it manages to stay together on a very thin thread. I wish all girl boss movies were like this, because I think then girl boss movies would be a genre in of itself, because there's thought behind it. There's thought behind the story. There's thought behind how it looks. There's thought about how you were going to do cameras. The fact that a lot of the shots are from ground level looking up. The dismemberments and the rememberments. Then the final boss is, it's like
the final boss is so good.
Yeah. If you're going to make a girl boss movie, make it like this. And people,
it's really
past
good.
girl boss movies have ruined it for this movie.
Right, but I remember seeing the trailer for this and thinking, I was just said, I know I'm gonna see it. I don't want to. Even the poster here, it's very, very much Kill Bill and old school exploitation films. It really is like a mesh of comic book, over the top violence, like Kill Bill, and it's very good. I predict when we do the box office on Monday on Versus that this movie will have bombed.
Be under 5. It'll be under 5.
Yeah, it's not going to do well, but it's very good. If you choose to check it out, you will have a very good time.
Yeah, I have to give credit to Zazie Beetz. I mean, she puts everything into it, but also she picks movies that I would not have seeing her early work up until now. She picks all these movies that seem to interest her versus making great career choice moves like high budget studio films. And so I'm glad to see her in this.
Let's go to comments. Some quick comments here.
Yes. Lord Combat for 2. Any girl boss movie for me, Chris Gore, is a red flag pass.
See, that's the thing. That's why I'm predicting it's going to fail. Because people are tired of it, and that's fine.
Yeah. I mean, after you've seen 3 Daisy Ridley girl boss movies, of course you're gonna be exhausted when you get to this one. Tim, is not funny. They Will Kill You was marginally better than similar Ready or Not 2. They both share a sister reconciliation story alongside devil worship, human sacrificing. This has better anime style action. Exactly.
Yeah,
I think the style of the action in this movie is what is the big winner.
Yeah, that's what pushed it over for me.
CD Stein, I like jazzy beats. Is that a new music genre?
Actually, it's headphones and also an actress.
Like jazz specific headphones?
That's exactly right. Hey, AI, what's it going to do? Is it going to take over? Should I be worried? The AI doc, or How I Became an Apocaloptimist, is a documentary that's been released in theaters. It's how do you describe this? It's like you watched a documentary in 10-second sound bites on TikTok. The filmmaker, who I believe is wildly creative, I mean, really creative way of making this movie. There's a lot of hand-drawn images. He draws images. There's animation that augments what he's trying to say.
Very unique animation too. I've not seen.
Yeah. It lists the directors as Daniel Roher and Charlie Terrell. Daniel Roher is the guy on camera. He's a young. He finds out, he kind of mixes his personal life in here, and it sort of breaks the fourth wall by it shows him interviewing people, then takes you out of the interview to see him talking to the people. Then he's talking to his wife about making this movie. Then his father is going through cancer. He has to get treatment. Then his wife becomes pregnant, and the birth of their baby is a thread throughout the making of this film. But it's about AI. And it really is. I feel like a lot of this is really for people who don't know anything about AI. For me, I didn't really feel like I learned a lot more than I mean, I keep up with AI. I kind of know most of what's in this doc. The things that are scary are how few people are in control of these companies and what their agendas are. And a couple people like Mark Zuckerberg refuse to be interviewed. Elon Musk is in the doc in clips, but apparently agreed to be interviewed and then bowed
Never
out.
showed up. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then what the movie leads to is kind of a call to action to like complain to people about putting guardrails on AI. And while the film addresses the problems and the things that are good that AI will help with, like the medical field and finding cures for diseases in terms of giving diagnoses to patients, there are a lot of great things AI will do. There are a lot of things that could be horrible that AI could do, like make better decisions about wars than generals because of data and spotting trends. But so it addresses like education, countries and war, medical. The one topic it doesn't address at all is Hollywood and the entertainment industry. Like at all in this movie. Zero. Even though he could have included that I really feel this was like the first episode of what could be a 6 or 8 episode doc series on Netflix. It's very surface level to me, but I was drawn in by the filmmaker's style, but left disappointed. I was left disappointed in the end.
Mm-hmm.
It did not hit the mark for me. And if you know a lot about AI, you're not going to learn much seeing this doc. But for those that don't really know, it's a really good introduction. So it gets a mixed review from me, a mild recommend. Maybe catch it on streaming. Alan, what did you think?
Yeah, I think I liked the first half of the movie, and then it started going in the wrong direction for me.
Right.
And by the end, I'm wrestling with, do I like this movie or not? And usually when I'm wrestling with, did I like this movie or not? I didn't like this movie. The one bright point of this movie is the animation. Daniel Roher is an artist, and he does amazing things with his drawings and how he animates it. There's a lot of stop motion animation. The conversations between him and his wife that take place in a notebook are,
Yeah.
I'm like
really
that's pretty
clever.
It's really clever. But the other thing is Daniel Roher, he just felt like he was inserting himself too much in this, and that as much as they tried, he's trying to express his feelings about AI and the future. A lot of his scenes are performative. I need to act emotional for this point in the movie, and that's when it starts to feel a bit inauthentic.
He doesn't have the likability of like a Morgan Spurlock.
Yeah, exactly.
He inserted himself in Super Size Me.
Right.
I found
Let me just finish. I will say this. By the end of the movie, I could say that I've thought about all these elements of AI, of AI in the world. And so it's a movie that, that really reaches to my level. The idea of who's controlling it, this AI race that is similar to the arms race. I've thought about that, how, who is behind the AI, the moral foundations of AI. There's, you bring up that his wife is pregnant. That becomes a big part of it, because do I want to raise a child in the world today? Exactly. And so it's kind of like there is that battle that goes on between one half of the AI experts saying that AI is going to doom us all, while the others are saying that this is the greatest time to be a human being. And it kind of floats back and forth between that. And the other thing, the last point I want to make, and I'm rambling for a second because I'm trying to remember what it was. But it was, Oh yeah. This is the first documentary I've seen in theaters in a very long time that doesn't make Trump a villain.
Yes. Yeah. They have footage of Trump in the movie, and it's
But
just
it's innocuous. It's innocuous.
it was innocuous because he's the president. It was weird. You're right. That stood out to me too. Every time you see Trump in a doc, it's always look at this evil man, and look, the American flag, evil. He's just in the movie because he's a world leader. Like she
In fact, he's making decisions
China.
about AI, and so he has to be in the movie.
Yeah, but it didn't vilify him, which I think was smart on the part of the filmmaker, because the movie will feel dated. It's innocuous. Here, I was looking
let me give you an example. Let me give a horrible example. There was a movie I saw a couple of years ago. It was about Filipinos and how they're, Filipinos in America and the history of them in the healthcare industry and all that. And then the third half of the movie is how evil Trump is. And I'm like, oh great, you've just ruined your movie.
Yeah, it was just like that horrible Orwell documentary, 2 + 2 = 5.
There's an anti-Trump movie.
Evil it's like, you guys, it's fear mongering. It's that's why people turned off the mainstream media. Can you just tell me the news and not the opinion news?
Facts,
But funny, while you were talking, I was on my phone looking up, because the movie ends with a QR code to take you to a website, and I'll bring up the website here. It's the AI.getinvolved.com site. It says government and AI companies are designing our future without us. We need to reclaim our voice in shaping the AI future. And so far, 2,000 people have given their information.
Yeah, fill it out, Chris.
I'll fill it out later, but and we'll share that. But this, that's what struck me about this doc is, like, here's what I want to know. It looked very expensive. Why did it look expensive? The animation, the number of people interviewed. He probably interviewed 50 people in this doc.
Yeah, he got Sam Altman.
Yeah,
to come in for an interview.
Clip clearance. Like, there was so much. Like, I know what it costs to make a doc like this. This is in the millions of dollars documentary. Plus the fact that this filmmaker spent at least 3 years on it, minimum 3 years or more. So it's very impressive. Who paid for it? And what I mean is, whoever paid for it, because every doc we see these days has an agenda. I feel like most documentaries I don't trust, because if they're political, you can look at who funded it to know what the doc is trying to say. They sort of back end into their what they're trying to say based on who funds it. So I want to know who funded this. They try to really humanize the filmmaker, humanizes himself in the movie. So I'm just this guy who's a young dad. I'm married. I'm having a baby. Like, this real human element to it, which was fine. He was in it too much.
Yeah.
He was in the movie.
And he was acting too much.
He was inserted a little too much in the doc. And I thought the interviews were very surface level. I'd much rather hear a deep dive interview with Sam Altman for 3 hours on Rogan rather than maybe this doc. I feel like I would learn more. But so
to the film's credit, though, it feels very current.
Yes.
2 years from now, it won't feel current.
Yes, this doc will be. So if you want to sign up, there's the website there. You can sign up, the AI.getinvolved.com with a QR code. I saw it in the afternoon. It was like there were a lot of people there, actually. I'm kind of surprised.
There were about 5 people in my theater.
Well, there you go. Do you recommend it?
Because I recommend it, but it's like I don't know. I think there's too much information being unloaded, because he gets the topics he covers is very broad, and it might be too broad to where you're going to forget the first topics.
Right. And the fact that he left out Hollywood obsolescing a lot of jobs in Hollywood, that was a big That was because
I don't have a big issue.
education, medical, government. What about entertainment?
I think the practical element is what's going to affect us as human beings more. The message at the end of basically speak up, talk to people who your politicians, the people in the industry. Look, I think the idea I agree with that AI is being progressed without us. At the same time, I feel like, but what can I do? It's
right.
There is this sense that we are out of it is not in our control and will never be in our control. And that is very much a fatalistic approach to that. And that's how I feel. I appreciate its attempt to try to get us involved. I just don't know if it's feels like it's too late.
Yeah. Well, do you recommend it?
I recommend it today because it does give a good overview of where we are at with AI. But it's not a perfect movie.
A mixed recommendation from me. I think the things that stood out and bothered me will bother you.
Yeah.
But probably see it when it comes to streaming. It's worth it.
But see it now, because again, it feels current now.
It'll be out of date in 2 years, maybe a year,
maybe in 6 months.
Yeah. Let's go to comments.
Yeah, Rough Rudders for $4.99. Love docs. Tired of docs being created on the filmmaker as
centered
on a filmmaker as a character. Only Morgan Spurlock could do that.
Yeah, there's certain filmmakers that can do that. This was done very intentionally. And it's
Michael Moore did himself no favors by being in his movies. Yeah. Bill S. Preston Esquire, we survived the Cold War and the risk of nuclear destruction. I'm tired of kids who don't read history books telling me how today is the worst ever. How they can't have kids in these dangerous times. Yeah. Tom Siebert, nearly every single person running these AI places is a psychopath on some level. Sam Altman, the Palantir CEO nut, surveillance fetish voyeur, Peter Thiel, maniacs, killers.
Yeah, and all the AI company logos look like buttholes.
No. Fresh Snow, cancer, pregnancy, and AI. That's a hell of a documentary.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Hey, we have more things to review. I'm going to talk about Forbidden Fruits, Daredevil Born Again Season 2, One Piece Season 2. But right now we have Refugee director Anton Sigurdsson. He'll tell me how to correctly pronounce that, I assume. I did not pronounce that correctly. Shame on me. He's here on the show to talk about his new movie. Let's see what he has to say. Hey, Anton, good to see you.
Hey, guys.
Yeah. By the way, I think the film is called Refuge, not Refugee.
Refuge?
Yeah, Refuge. Yeah.
Yo, what? Sorry. I'm so sorry. I mispronounced your name. I mispronounced the name of your movie. What am I doing?
It's all good, man. It's all good.
Okay. How do we say your name correctly?
Anton Sigurdsson, but in your case, just say Anton Sigurdsson.
Anton Sigurdsson. Well, thank you, Anton. Tell us about your film.
Well, it's basically a movie about a group of friends who have met every year on their yearly fishing trip. They're friends from back where they grew up, and one of them has his daughter missing, and they go to the cabin that they always stay in, and then they start drinking and having fun, and then three of them wake up tied to a chair, and the father of the missing daughter, he reads from a diary entry from her, which has one of his friends mentioned that is a friend of hers, and that sets in motion nobody leaves until we figure all this out together. I've got
the trailer so I can share. I want to share this with our audience to give them a taste of your movie. I've got it right here. Let's watch it together, and then we'll talk about it after. Here we go. Refuge.
I remember this place being bigger.
Entrevue. Oh man, when was the last time we were here?
Oh God, it's got to be, I don't know, 4 years.
I got a bad feeling about this.
What can go wrong on a fishing trip?
What is going on?
What is this, some kind of game?
Well, that depends on you.
A citywide search is underway for 10-year-old Sophie McKenzie.
You know, it's amazing how fast the last 4 years have gone. I was there all the time. A diary entry. It tells me that one of you were involved in her disappearance.
Tell me where my daughter.
Do you have anything to do with this?
Barry, you okay? He's clearly lost his mind. We gotta get out of here.
We're tied to chairs. How are we gonna get out of here, Mike?
Let me be crystal clear. Not one of you is leaving here until I get a confession. Now, I have 6 bullets in this gun. I only need 3.
Barry, you got something to say?
Oh, there's only one way to find out.
You gone insane?
Oh, I have never felt more sane in my entire life.
Nice.
Oh my God.
Ultimately, it's a story about hope. That's, I think, I end every. Ultimately, it's a story about hope. But
and maybe not judging by the trailer, but it actually has humor in it, believe it or not. So it's actually like, you know, but me being Icelandic, so we have a little bit of dark humor. So it's
nice. Now, I love a nice taut thriller in like a single location. Was that part of the intention with this, to create that tense? I mean, they're all tied to chairs in a cabin.
Yeah. So this was a project I had been brewing for a time. I had like a bigger version of it, et cetera, et cetera. Then obviously what happens is you kind of get the money you raise, and there wasn't a lot. So you kind of play with what you got. And I think by making it contained, started making the story better. It's a contained story about friendships, everything that they go through. They know each other really well, so they also can say, hey, he did it because of this, because of that, and then the other one goes. So they're throwing each other kind of under the bus to get out of there. And then, you know, at the same time, did nobody do it? Like, that's kind of the question that we start looking into. So the contained setting makes it a pressure cooker from the start. It's a tight 90-minute film, and not a lot of wasted space in that, and you know, a lot of fun.
And I need to mention that the movie is on VOD today. Is that right?
Yeah, it's out today, and you can see for yourself.
We've got over 1,000 people watching live here on YouTube, and we've got a lot of questions from our audience. Alan, if you would help me with these questions.
Yes.
Here we go.
All right, from ADLs24. You shot this in Lake Placid. What was it like shooting in such a beautiful and historic town? How was getting a crew in such a place?
Lake Placid was fantastic. Obviously, I think the setting speaks for itself in the movie, the beautiful setting. We had people in town who were great, but we also had some people coming from New York. We weren't a big crew, but the film commission in Lake Placid was really helpful. And then we had one of the producers is from the area, so he could pull a lot of strings. And I couldn't have been more happier with everybody from where we lived into, you know, how we crewed up. It was great.
So was that an actual house, or was that a set?
It's all shot on location, no sets built. It was all we scouted for a pretty long time, but we got lucky. You know, in places like Lake Placid, you get lucky if you scout well enough.
All right, Sons and Shadowcast asks, looks cool for physical media collectors. Any plans on DVD or Blu-ray down the road?
That is something that Saban Films have to answer for. I am not sure about that. I would hope it.
Yeah. As we all would.
Yeah.
St. Solomon. Greetings, Sir Anton. What was your approaching of the building up of suspense scenes in a thriller? Yeah, how do you approach building up suspense in a thriller?
Oh, it's I'm young, but I've been in it for a long time. I did my first project in 2014 when I was early 20s. So over time, you build up something. You know a little bit more every project you go into. The rule was, if it doesn't have a pressure cooker, it's out. And then I also I'm a writer director. And when I direct a film, I hate the writer. And, a lot of times we would just take out dialogue. We would just throw it out and see what the cast could do. I had a fantastic cast. We had auditions, and we watched over 10,000 actors, and we ended up with these 4. They were great. They were really in character the whole time. It was a difficult shoot in that way. But it was just whenever we are relaxed, that's not good enough. So we just kept building and building and building. I also shoot in a chronological order. So the first scene is shot and then the second, and etc. So I also feel the movie going, and I can see if it needs reshaping while filming. So that allowed the actors to kind of know their character better, versus sometimes you shoot scene 2 and then scene 16 and then scene 72 on the same day.
How many days did it take?
We shot this movie on 12 crazy days.
Okay.
What?
Yes.
Crazy.
12 days, and with little money. But people were gracious. We had a great crew who were, sometimes you get reminded why we do this. And this was one of those projects.
Yeah, we're still making a movie. That's the
yeah.
ADL's 24. Middle-aged male friends going on vacation to a remote location and things go awry. Could be its own subgenre. Did you look at other films in that realm before putting your own spin on that story?
Yeah, I did. I probably also subconsciously I did. I remember seeing a film I like movies in the 90s. Like this movie this is, there was this movie with Christopher Walken. I remember the name now. I think something named Kings, which was pretty similar to this. There's an Israeli movie called Bad Wolves, really good movie. Obviously, most people pointed Prisoners, which is, a fantastic movie, but kind of the only similarities are the missing girl. But it was also drawn out of inspiration from Icelandic stories I'd heard over the years where I grew up. Some kind of like folk stories about what had happened, and some of it were not true. Some of it had gotten darker and darker over how much Icelandic people drink at the bar. So, but I always kept to those stories. So I would put a lot of that in. Suicide Kings is the name of the film. That I was kind of remember always when I saw that film, I was like, that's a pretty cool film. And I like that 90s vibe.
All right, the nerd far away. Hell, Mr. Sigurdsson. Was it more cost effective to shoot on location as opposed to building a set? Did you have to dress your location to get the look you wanted?
So I only shoot on location. I was just shooting last summer a pretty big film up in New Mexico. That was nothing on set. It was all location. This was that as well. We scouted a lot and we found a great house. We did set dress it, of course, like you always do, but we also played with what we had. So we kind of worked with what we had and then we dressed it. Cost effective, like I can only speak for myself that I don't even speak the language of a set. So
I have a feeling you'll never make a movie in Los Angeles.
no.
Matthew Hammond for 2. What pre-production was done to shoot in 12 days? Yeah, what's the prep like for shooting in 12 days?
Oh, it was a long prep. It was a very long prep. And we had rehearsals. So I had a few days with actors in rehearsal, which I thought was, for this type of budget, more necessary than a filming day, because then you just have the actors, you work with the actors. And then, you get the crew in on lesser days, and that affects your budget. Pre-production this was months.
Razorburn, Anton, is there a large horror community in Iceland?
I think there's nothing large in Iceland. We're only 350,000 people, so we kind of, everything for us is unlarge. But yeah, there is like we believe in elves and fairies, and that's in our rooted nature, and we tell great ghost stories. Icelandic people are great storytellers. And yeah, there is, there's a big movie community in Iceland, and compared to how few we are, I would say per capita, we're probably pretty high in the horror community. Yeah.
And here's a great question to end on here as we wrap up. Right here.
Yeah, from Eric. Hold up. I'm going to a condo on a lake this summer with a bunch of friends. Should I cancel that vacay? No, in fact, you should bring cameras.
Yeah.
And shoot a movie.
Yeah. I encourage you to look at the movie tonight and then make up your own mind, Eric.
Oh, great. Well, hey, Refuge is actually on VOD now. Check it out. Anton, thank you so much for joining us on the show. Congrats on the movie. And when you make your next film, please come by and talk to us.
Thank you, guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
See how we do that? We do interviews. I love talking to filmmakers. Love it. Thanks for fixing that, Alan. I appreciate it. Hey, we've got more stuff to review. Big show today.
Yeah.
I've got one more movie here. Let me bring this up. And I appreciate everyone who watches the show live. There's a very different audience, the show, that people who watch live and are in the comments. You guys are great. I love it. The people that watch our clips, they're not always great. They don't love us. And they sometimes say mean things. I don't care if you say you disagree with my opinion, but other things, maybe
best.
Be best, as I say. Hey, but let's talk about a film that I saw called Forbidden Fruits.
It's not the Pillion sequel.
It's not. And how do you describe this movie? It's really a whole bunch of genre blending.
Yeah, I can tell you, looking at this poster, I have no idea what this movie is about.
I saw the movie, and I can tell you it's about a lot of different things. I mean, is it a story about a coven of witches? Kinda. Is it a story about an outsider coming into this clique of girls, all named after fruits and vegetables? Yes. Do they all work at a retail store? So it's about working at this high-end retail store? Sure. Is there a horror element? Yeah, this movie can't decide what genre it wants to be, in addition to being kind of an over-the-top feminist fever dream. Lola Tung plays Pumpkin. She's the new recruit in a group led by Apple. There's also Cherry and the girl who used to be in the group, Pickle, and then there's Fig. Yes, those are all their names. And they wear a bracelet charm with a little logo of each of their names. Well, when Pumpkin joins the group and discovers what may have happened to Pickle, things go awry. And it's a lot of, as I'm telling you this, it sounds awful, right?
Oh my god.
Why are you laughing?
No, when Pumpkin finds out what happened to Pickle.
Yes, okay. All right. Pumpkin finds out what happened to Pickle, then Apple and Cherry it's crazy, this movie. It's definitely this movie is for girls. It's all girls being passive aggressive and mean to each other for 90 minutes. And by the way, it's produced by Diablo Cody, who's done, I think she's done some
good work. Yeah.
She's done good work, but it's being put out by Shudder. It's being promoted as a horror film, but the horror elements of the movie don't really come into the film until maybe the last 30% of the film, last third. And it's out of the blue, where I'm like really interested in these, these girls. They're mean to their customers. They're really mean to men. There are no good male characters in this movie. And what I mean by they're no good, they're good, but they are so cruel to these men in the movie. They have an utter disdain for men and it's not a secret. They're just mean to the men, that any man that enters their lives. So, and having a boyfriend is looked down upon when you're part of this clique. I mean, it's all about walking around in high fashion, carrying a Stanley Cup, and each girl kind of has their own look, kind of a different look. They have this weird witch ritual that you see where they put stuff to make a drink in this thigh-high boot, but do they have witch powers? The movie isn't willing to commit to like what it is. Is it horror? Cool. Is it Mean Girls? Cool. But it's like, it wants to be 5 different movies and fails at all of them. So I'll just say the only thing that kept me watching it is they wear all these outfits and they're being mean to each other. That's the part I found kind of funny. All the dynamics between them, like Pumpkin works at a place that gives out samples. She's kind of looked down upon, but she's brought into the retail fold at this high-end place where they sell clothes for like $2,000. It's really ridiculous. I'm sure places like that exist. It's called Free Eden is the name of the place. Free Eden. So
I'm looking at the chat. The important question is, are there boobs in it?
Yes, there is. One of the characters does take her top off and get naked.
Well,
one character.
That might be enough.
There is one sex scene with one character, but that's it. I would have thought that with all of these actresses, they would all just, in terms of, kumbaya, they would have all
orgy. You're saying orgy.
I'm just saying it kind of on the surface is like, this could be cool, but it tries to be too many things, fails at all of them. If it was a straight up, we're evil witches, and that's what it should have been. And it did. I will say this: the ending kind of was like, oh, this movie's a mess, but the ending was like, oh, that was kind of like, I'm glad you took that risk and you did the ending I didn't expect. It definitely ended in a way did not see coming, but it's not enough to save it. Cannot recommend this movie. So avoid like the mean girls who work at retail. And just avoid it. Cannot recommend.
Look, I have a message to film distributors. You are very fortunate to get your movies in the theaters. Please put better movies in theaters and not movies like this.
Yeah.
From Saint Solomon, Forbidden Fruits reminds me of Galileo from the
Giallo.
70s. Giallo, sorry. from 70s and 80s films. I've
Yeah, that's
seen
certainly-
Giallo movies. I just never knew how to pronounce it.
It certainly inspired the look and kind of the situations, but I feel like the movie was a mess. It could have been with the cast. The cast is very good. If they just picked a different direction, I think like pick one, I think would have worked better.
Yeah. Focus the story around that. Sons of Shadowcast, is this the new Fantastic Four?
Not really, but it will be the Fantastic Four in Marvel in about 10 years.
Yeah. A.D. Ellis. Wait, hold up. Celine Dion has a cameo as a character named Shirley Temple. What the F? Is that true?
Yeah, I guess I didn't notice it, but there is a character named Shirley Temple. I don't know. I guess she had a cameo.
All right. Looks like it's uncredited.
Yeah. All right, Alan. As promised on the thumbnail, let's talk about Daredevil Born Again season 2. You saw the first episode. You saw all the episodes of.
No, I haven't. My link's expired, so I'm with everybody else now.
No, but what I'm saying is you saw the last season, all the episodes, and then this season you've seen the first episode. I'm hearing mixed. What did you think?
Okay, so I think we're on record as we liked the first season. Others haven't and been very vocal about it, but yeah, I'm under the belief that Disney doesn't know how to do a second season, at least the first episode of a second season. And this is exactly what I'm about to say about Daredevil season 1. I'm the same comments I made about Andor season 2. Sorry, Daredevil season 2, Andor season 2. That first episode did the series no favors. When you start a new season, you have to jumpstart your story and get people excited to want to continue this story. And so basically what's happening here is Kingpin is now fully in charge of New York. He's got his goon squad, some nice-looking guys. And so he's fully in charge. Daredevil is at the end of this first season, it's all about taking down Kingpin. And so the first thing he does is there's a ship coming to New York that has guns and arms on it. I don't know why it's coming by ship like that. You would think in America they don't need those kind of weapons. They can find it in the Midwest. But he takes down the ship and we set the pieces in place. Do you remember the last thing you remember? The last image you remember at the end of season 1?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it?
Daredevil got shot.
Well, but before that, there was an ominous image that it was bad guys in cages. Remember that?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guess what? It's almost as if that doesn't exist because none of that appears in this first episode. You end on this really interesting image saying that this is how bad things are going to get. All of Kingpin's enemies, they're in cages in a basement. All right. How are they going to get out of that? What are they going to do with that? None of that. It's like, sure, maybe they'll address it down the road. Punisher was in a cage. Maybe down the road they're going to talk about it, but why, I just don't understand Disney. I don't understand why they're doing it this way. Everyone that says it's meh and boring, it is. Even the fight scenes. The one thing you should have in episode 1, season 2 is an incredible fight scene. We got an okay fight scene. In fact, it was a fairly standard fight scene that you would see in any other TV show. Nothing to write home about. You want to see Daredevil using his powers. You want to see high excitement, but instead we're just continuing the story, and we're taking, we're basically showing you chapter 3 of this, where it's just kind of the boring opening. So, oh man, they really shit the bed with episode 1.
Okay, now I'm also or have heard from other people because I don't have Disney Plus, and I was not given access to the screen.
Well, believe me, I'm paying for both of us then.
Yeah, there you go. So Is it an ice analogy and Kingpin is Trump basically?
You know what? I mean, look, if the idea that Kingpin set up a bunch of guys who are his enforcers, who are above the law, that's what is presented to us based on the only reason you connect it with ICE is because that's all the creators are talking about. That's all the people who are starring in this thing are talking about, that this is a take on modern times. So I don't know that you could, if you were to watch this 50 years from now with zero context, I don't think you would get that. But with the way the world is going now, how can you not make the connection?
Yeah, but are they being baited by press into saying that?
I think so. You know what? I don't know. Based on the interviews I've read, it seems like that this is the foundation of those guys. That ICE, this is their version of ICE. That, I think you could say that Kingpin is Trump. I want, look, I'm defending Black Snape. I can't defend this.
Well, here's the deal. The way that the first part last season ended, I was interested in seeing it. And then you know what happened? I looked at how much it cost to pay for Disney Plus without ads, and I decided I wasn't that interested. So now, are people going to subscribe to Disney Plus to get season 2 of Daredevil Born Again?
Yeah. You know how it's like how long it took you to realize that Homelander was Trump? That's kind of what's going on here. It's hard not to make the comparison between Kingpin and Trump.
Yeah, now it's just obvious. So first of all, are you going to keep watching it?
Oh God, I don't know. I can't imagine it getting better. This is not, I mean, I wish it was Starfleet Academy bad. It's just bad.
So you're not recommending it?
Not based on the first episode. This is not how you promote. This is not how you create a television series.
Oh, but see, I think it's really telling that I had a screener to watch all the episodes of that first season. I was like, oh, okay, I'm interested. But when it came time to actually pay, I decided not to.
Oh, well, in my position, it was like, I got access to all 8 episodes, and it was so out of it wasn't even a thought until someone on, I think it was DA, mentioned that Daredevil is coming out. It's like, oh, I have screeners for that. And then realized I missed the expiration date.
All right. Well, I don't think I'll be watching it.
Yeah, I don't know that we'll be talking about it.
Let's go to comments.
Yeah, Warrior of Justice for 2. Daredevil, no time to entertain again.
Yeah, it's sad. Thank you for the 2.
Again, they don't care about audiences. They only care about telling their stories and the entitlement that comes with it. Sam Spurgeon, Disney has trouble with second seasons because they rarely have to make any.
Well, season 2 of Wonder Man is coming. Yeah. I have a theory on that. It's super cheap to make.
Yeah.
It's people talking in rooms.
Yeah, it's cheap to make, and people are actually watching it.
Yeah.
Tim is not funny. That's a shame because because Netflix Daredevil fight scenes were top tier. Yeah.
Yeah,
every single one of them. But with respect to him, it's not really a Trump analogy, but there is a line or two thrown in that does try to make that connection. So you can tell the creators have an ideological bent. Yeah.
Yeah, that's too bad. That's too bad. Hey, let's talk about that second season Netflix curse. One Piece season 2 is out. Monkey D. Luffy and his crew are traveling the gold line, meeting a cast of bizarre characters. You can see on the poster, that's about maybe half the characters in the show. There are so many. And I will say this. I loved the first season of One Piece. It was really about getting the crew together and going on this mission on the gold line. And it was mostly about character development. One Piece season 1, the Grand Line, That's right. It's the Grand Line, not the Gold Line. I'm thinking of the Golden Path, which is Paul Atreides. But thank you for that. Yes. Yeah. So he's traveling the Grand Line. They're finally there. And I love the first season because it shouldn't work. Their costumes are ridiculous. The characters are sort of all over the map in terms of their it's very Bridgerton types casting. It's ridiculous in the dialogue, the situations, the costumes are over the top. Each land they go on has its own architecture and sort of weirdness about it, different kind of weirdness. There are characters that defy logic, but it works. It works, and it's over the topness because of the earnestness of all of the characters. My favorites being Monkey D. Luffy and Zoro. Monkey D. Luffy, his optimism in any situation is like, I love that guy. No matter how bad things are, he's gonna save his friends. He's loyal to his friends, which I admire, and he's optimistic that no matter how bad things get, they'll get out of it. But while it's not a bad second season, I will say I did not love this season as much as the last. Last season, they kind of wrapped things up and like, hey, we're going on the Gold Line. Basically, the kind of origins of everyone, lots of character development to how they became who they are. Now we know who they are, and there's not much character development for the older characters. Now there are a lot of new characters that come into play. And I like some of them. I like some of them, but I almost feel like, can we hold off? I know it's very accurate to the anime. Never watched it. Probably not gonna with 1,000 episodes. But in its weird ridiculousness, I feel like I'm having fun. The only thing I could compare it to is old Adam West Batman TV series from 1966. It's so ridiculous, but everyone that is in the situation they're in takes it deadly seriously. No matter if they're interacting with two giants that are fighting, but they're friends. Every fight ends in a draw. Or David Malchin plays a character called Mr. 3 with his hair has a little weird thing that forms a number 3. And he can spew out this material that hardens almost as hard as stone that can't be broken. Not even my Zoro's swords. So it's just so over the top and weird. And that was what I loved about the old Batman TV series, was that tone. Well, the tone here is why it works, because I'm like, that's kind of, although I do feel like some characters, like they almost act like anime fans. There's a new character played by Julia Raywald called Tashigi. She's like an anime fan in the show. But no, she's a good character. She's kind of acting a little like a fan. Anyways, and I love the new guy, Smoker, played by Callum Curry. He's got like 2 cigars. Oh, he's great. So unfortunately, this season, it's not that it ends on a cliffhanger. They're trying to basically get Nefertiti Vivi to her home. And the thing is, there are loose ends. Whereas I think last season had a better ending. So I recommend it. Not as good as season 1. For me, it broke the Netflix season 2 curse. It's not bad. A lot of things, frankly, I liked. But effectively why it works is the world building, the characters I love, like Sanji and Nami. We know these characters now. Then when they interplay in this, the season finale is a big battle with their new big bad, which is this king who has a mouth that is like the Tin Man, that he can turn his body into weird weapons. It's over the top, crazy, wild. Why I like it. Recommend it. Strong recommend. Not as good as season 1. There you go. Let's go to comments.
Sorry, I was going to say, I'm glad you liked it. Not another name for 5. Sorry, I will never see the appeal in real live anime. One Piece is a horrible show, in my humble opinion.
Like, it's weird because I'm sitting there, I'm like, do I like this? It's so weird. And then it's just fun for me. It reminds me of that Batman TV series. When they do the fight scenes, they might as well put pow, kapow, blam, you know, like the fight scenes are stupid and over the top.
But would you ever go and watch the original anime?
I might if I had 1,000 hours to spare. Thank you for that.
St. Solomon, One Piece season 2 best highlight was episodes 7 and 8. The Tony Chopper story was heartwarming.
Yeah. There were heartwarming aspects.
Says in Shadowcast, this season was introducing new characters in really slow arcs. This is when anime even felt super slow.
No, I feel like they moved it along. Like, again, not as good as season 1 for sure.
Would respect them. Season 1 was immediately more engaging for me than season 2, but I feel like I got everything out of season 1 in the first watch. Season 2, while not as immediately rewarding, has me more interested in watching it again.
Yeah, I think in the end you'll like it. It's best binged. I watched it like in 2 days. The whole thing.
Yeah, if I watch
8
Daredevil.
episodes, yeah.
If I watch Daredevil, I'm gonna probably have to binge it. I don't think I can go week to week on it.
All right, Alan, that's it for us today. I will be at the Credo 23 Film Festival tonight for opening night. Alan will be at Credo on Saturday.
Yeah.
On Saturday, I will be at WonderCon. Alan's going to WonderCon tonight.
Yeah, I'll be at WonderCon tonight. I have a panel at 7:30. I don't know where it is, but look for Tim Chismark. Or in fact, look for Chris Jericho, because we will be on the panel together.
Yeah, and I'll be at WonderCon this weekend. I have a panel on Sunday at 1:30. It's a Jaws panel, which I shared on the Film Threat and my personal Instagram. Get the info on that. And there you go. So thank you again to everyone in the chat for sending in your soups. And thank you to our mods, Lord Thoth, MK Solid, ADLS24, Ololique on Rumble, Atomic Glory, and Glanuccio. Appreciate you all. And that's it. We have a busy weekend, Alan.
Mm-hmm.
A busy weekend.
We won't be at home this weekend.
We're not going to. So there you go. But I'm really looking forward to Credo. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, me too.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So, all right, Alan, what do you got to say?
Let's get out of here.